Amsya of Vishnu Purana. So thus, there are 6 Amsyas. Amsaihi Shadbhihi Samakirana. As Veda has 6 Angas, the Vishnu Purana having 6 Amsyas described everything about the creation and gave a brief note of the whole universe. That is Vishnu Purana. How the creation described? Now let us see here. This is how actually the Lord takes the Sankalpa. So he is called Vyuha Vasudeva. Yesterday we described it, right? So the Vyuha Vasudeva takes a Sankalpa because of his compassion. Compassion takes place of the mother because it's motherly quality. And from him, when the Sankalpa has come, a few forms came out of him. They are called Vyuhas. One is called Sankarshana, Pradyumna, and Aniruddha. Each one takes responsibility of one activity. Sankarshana for destruction, what we call Pradaya. Pradyumna for sthiti, protection. And Aniruddha for Srishti. I don't use the word creation, but it is for Srishti. And when the Srishti started, Amen. When the Srishti starts, I gave you the names also for those places. Did you remember? Amoda, Pramoda, and Sammoda. The first one is Sammoda, Pradaya, and Pramoda is Sthiti, this one. But Aniruddha, Sankarshana, Sammoda, and Pradyumna is Pramoda. This is Amoda. Amode Bhuvane, Pramoda was Sammode Sankarshana. I think every day morning we chant in the Prasmani. But this is the controlling abode. What is called Paravasudeva. Not Paravasudeva, but Vyuha Vasudeva. Paravasudeva is again in that abode. All this is called Karya Vaikuntha. Karya Vaikuntha. This is down to the Viraja. Crossing Viraja is Parampad. The undisturbed land always. So now Sankarshana does nothing. It absorbs everything as Pradaya. But after Pradaya again, all the things were transformed here to Aniruddha. From here Srishti starts. How does the Srishti start? It's like this. Here again he takes Sankalpa. Bahusyam Prajayeti. Let me become more. Let me bring out things from me. Seed. He is like a seed, started sprouting and then comes out. From this, actually the real Srishti starts. You asked a question just before. What is that? Who created the earth? Right? That is what you can find here. Lord actually brought out the raw material. Go ahead. From this, actually few things come out. Elements of all the beings. Look, these are the 5 things. Air, water, fire, air, and space. Stop there. So, if you imagine each element like a ball, now each ball is divided into 2. Right? So, these are pure elements. I am talking about pure elements. That means earth is purely 100% earth. Water is 100% water, fire is 100% fire, and so on. Brahma is not yet created. Before Brahma's arrival, I am talking about. All this is called as Advaraka Srishti. Advaraka Srishti means a direct Srishti from God. After Brahma is created, Srishti's responsibility was given to him. After Rudra is created, the Pralaya responsibility was given to him. After Indra is created with the name as Vishnu, so the Sthiti responsibility was given to him. Now it is not. It is only God doing it directly. So this is called Advaraka. There is no Dwaram. Direct. So it is called Advaraka. But when there is a person to take care, it is Sadvaraka Srishti. Through someone, the activities are conducted. Now not. So these are pure elements. So if you imagine that the element is divided into two parts, this is like this. This process is called action with 5 elements. Panchikarana. What do you call it? Panchikarana. Taking 5 elements and doing the creation, doing the Srishti. Right? There is Trivritkarana also. That means only 3 elements are taken, like air, water, and fire. Only that's all. These 2 are not taken into consideration because they are the visible objects, right? Water can be seen, earth can be seen, and fire can be seen. Air and space cannot be seen. So, for some people at the beginning level, only they deal with 3 elements and start saying it is Trivritkarana only. But now we are talking about the Panchikarana because we are dealing with the Puranam. Now, in Purana it is Panchikarana. There is another process called Saptikarana. Yeah, that's right. That's right. These are because pure elements. Now, go ahead. See, the Panchikarana goes like this. Stop it. What are you seeing now? Tell me. Yes. Each one is having 50% the pure element. What about the rest of the 50%? Rest of the 4 are mixed with it. Because it is Panchikarana, rest of the 4 elements are mixed in each of the elements. If it is Trivritkarana, then what happens? One element becomes only 2 parts. So 50% will be that element and 25% and 25% rest of the elements. And now 12.5% is other element and 50% is one element in each of the 5. You understand now? Up to this, elements are pure, but now elements are not pure anymore. You understand? No single element is 100% pure now because each element is mixed up with other elements. This is the time Big Bang takes place. We call it as Big Bang. So prior to Big Bang, there is something which our science did not know, or probably our scientists could not predict. Now the Big Bang has taken place because it's a collide. Now from this, so many things spread all around. These are galaxies. How many things came like that, we don't know. And how many galaxies has come, we don't know. And there is no limit, there is no count also for them. You understand? But in each of these things, some kind of things are dominating. Stop. You take any element, you take any planet, any galaxy, it is a mix-up of 5 elements. Maybe at some places, earth is dominating. In some places, water is dominating. Wherever there is water dominating, then there you see the diamonds like stars. Wherever there is fire dominating, you see some other kind of things like rubies. Wherever there is air dominating, there is some other kind of stuff. Wherever there is space dominating, what you are seeing now, the gaps in between all these galaxies. Atmosphere is pretty much limited to Earth only.
Is there a timeline mentioned in Puranam about this?
Yes, yes.
Does it match with the modern science finding about
It matches. It matches. But the time is beyond our imagination, what I said. You know, in fact, Brahma did not start now. After Brahma started, we start calculations. But before Brahma, all these things happened. So by the time Brahma has come, the things already got mixed up. Right? The combination already has taken place. So the things already got polluted. Earth is polluted, water is polluted, air is polluted, space is polluted. We don't call it the pollution, but it is collusion. So things are combined. That means they are mixed up. And now, so many galaxies are spread all over the universe. Already that became the universe. They spread all over. That became the universe. Each galaxy is independent by itself. And now, take one galaxy in one Brahmanda. Each one is a Brahmanda now. This is a Brahmanda, this is a Brahmanda, this is a Brahmanda. Each one is a Brahmanda. What exists in one Brahmanda? Brahmanda means there are so many andas in that. And just like an egg. If you take an egg, in that there is the white substance, there is the yellow substance, and there is a support, and there is a shell around. All these things exist in an egg, right? And if you take an egg as a Brahmanda, there is so much white substance in that, isn't it? So also, in each of the Brahmanda, there are billions and trillions of andas. Okay? And now, each anda again consists of one shell, and again there are so many planets, like what you call the galaxies. But they were classified like just we discussed, 7 lokas down, 7 lokas up. Bhuloka, Bhuvarloka, Suvarloka, Janoloka, Mahatloka, Tapoloka. And then Atala, Vitala, Sutala, Rasatala, Manatala, Talatala, Patala. You know, 7 bottom, just like in a egg, you have a support to the yellow substance. What do you call that? Yolk. The yellow one is yolk.
Yes.
But it is supported with some kind of strings. White kind of. You didn't see the thing. So you may not know. So there are some kind of supports. Similarly, there are some kind of supports which nowadays scientists are calling as dark matter. Dark matter. Unseen support between each and every object. You, because are big, egg is small, you are able to see the whole thing in an egg. You don't find any gap in that egg. But a very tiny insect is able to understand the gaps between one particle and the other particle of an egg in the waste substance. It understands the gap. You can't. See, the example is, if you are in a flight at say about 15 or 20,000 feet height and see the earth, what are you seeing? You look like something is spread, just like a city, and the city looks this much and you don't find any gap at all. The moment you come down to the earth, my God, you see acres and acres of land and so much big building, and in each building there are so many halls. In each hall there is so much space to sit, and in each place again there is gap between one person and the other person. If you are in the flight, you won't see any of these things. They are not visible. You understand? You follow me? So also you see so much gap in between all these planets, between us and Moon, between the Earth and the Sun. You find a lot of gap, and you think, oh, there is no support. But for some who are able to really visualize the whole thing, they find no gap at all. They think all these are very densely crowded. Understand? They think so, but not really. Because you are smaller guy, you are able to find the difference, find the gaps also. So, I am talking about Anda, not Brahmanda. One Brahmanda consists so many Andas. At each Anda, there are millions of galaxies. Anda. They are divided into 14 lokas. And now, there will be one in charge for that Anda. That means each Andam is supported by one Brahma. And in one Brahmanda, there may be so many Brahmas. So many Brahmas.
Same place?
Everything created at the same time. But the evolution will definitely take place. We accept evolution, but in a different way than what our people say. Evolution, what these people say is, from monkey man comes. But our evolution is not like that. As I said, everything is in the seed. No new things are coming out of the seed. Existing things are only coming out of the seeds. But one after the other. Not new things are coming. Seed died, tree came. No. People are saying that right? Some other creature gone and turned as an ape. And ape turned as a man. But we don't accept that. That kind of evolution is not accepted. whatever was existing in an unmanifested form comes out in a timely process, like first the stem comes, then tender leaves come, then again big branch, and then the flower comes, then the fruit comes, green fruit, then turns to red fruit, then juice, that's all. All these are existing, but one after the other they come out. Same kind of evolution we talked about. Now, God thought of creating an in charge of one hunter. Take one hunter for example. Then he sends one person, that is called Brahma. And then he gives life to him. And then the Brahma says, who am I? Why I came like this? What is my purpose? And then he listens a sound. What is that? Where it is from? And the sound became like tapa. He did tapas. And then God appeared. How long he did tapas, we don't know. But he did tapas for long. As a result of his tapas, then he was able to perceive wonderful things which we call as Veda. He heard something and a kind of enlightenment taken place in him. And it revealed something to him, so it became Veda. Veda means not something a book named as Veda. Veda is science. Veda means science that reveals. But your definition of science is something different. A proven fact is science. Unproven fact is philosophy. But it is also fact. It is also fact. But they say it is proven with unproven. But whatever is proven today is not agreed tomorrow. I think the unproven, that means for the first one who proved also got the Nobel Prize. Who denied also again got the Nobel Prize. And third day, another person came and condemned him also got Nobel Prize. That is the wonder with our science. But this is a time-tested science which named after Vedas. So he received knowledge in different forms as Vedas. With each one of his heads, Rig Veda, with this kind of head. And then Atharva Veda, with this kind of head. And then Sama Veda, with the horse head. And Yajur Veda, with a head like a goat. He became four-headed. And then what happened to do? Then God said, great. Me? How can I? Don't worry. I'll be in your heart. I'll take care of everything. He said, I am within you. Why do you worry? Remember, don't become egoistic. Don't become arrogant. Realize my presence there. And then just go. He gave all the raw material to him now. You understand? Actually, the raw material already created by God. He made all the, what you call the composition. What do you call that? Compounds. Yes, how to mix up and what to mix up and everything God made. The Panchikana process was done already. And now he gave the clues through the Vedas and said, these are the modes. Chap karna hai, chhodna hai. And now you release the things, you start creation. But sometimes the code was not so totally understood. So he created something in a different way. And he wanted to put something and he kept something here that became Puranam and became an elephant. That, no, this is not ridiculous problem. He removed and he put near. It became tail and that became monkey. Like that, he made several trials and created all the beings on this earth. Maybe, as they said, it is 8.4 million species he created. Right? And in his under, he is responsible for creation. And he kept the order. And he chose the earth. And on the earth first he created water. As the Veda says, Apa eva sasajjado. First he created water and then he released the seed into the water. And then he created mountains. And then the seed started sprouting. Some seeds. First of all, he wanted to make a place, for the life to come onto this. So he created the greenery. Because without that, how man survives? Water simply will not make everything, right? It's supposed to some extent. And then he created so many things. All kinds of foods. For all the human beings, the recommended food is that comes out of the earth. That is what Veda says. Yeah? Prithivya oshadhaya oshadibhyo annam annat purusha sava esha purusha annarasamaya oshadibhyo prithivya oshadhaya. Whatever comes out of the earth is called oshadhi. And whatever comes from the oshadhis becomes anna. And man is the one who eats anna. So, man is made of anna rasa. Esha purusha anna rasa maya. That means what have we to eat? Fish, goat, pig, dog, snake. My God. Snails, mosquitoes, flies. Oh God. There's nothing that left. Anything that moves you can eat. You know the rule of the China? Anything that moves you can eat. That is how they made ultimately. But and so many trees, creepers and bushes and things were spread like that all across the world. And now the Brahma thought, what have I to do? He started creating Prajapatis from his own body. Whoever came out of his body directly became Prajapatis. Prajapatis means the originators of all the species on the earth. Don't think only human beings come out of them. Birds also came from Prajapatis. Snakes came from Prajapatis. Horses came from Prajapatis. Flies, insects came from Prajapatis. Prajapatis are the ones from whom everything came out. That means they not necessarily be like human beings, but for our understanding we showed them as only human beings. Otherwise you get confused. Right. From Manas, Marichi has come. And from right, Dharma Prajapati has come. And from face, Angirasa. And from his thumb, Daksha. And from his life, Vasishtha. And from his skin, Bhrigu has come. And from the hands, Ratu, Prajapati. And from eyes, Atri. And ears, Pulastya. And from navel, Pulaha. From his shadow, Kardama Prajapati. These are the Prajapatis came out and they never lived Prajapatis. And now, the Brahma thought, I could not do this properly, it looks fine. He was very curious. From his anger, again somebody came out. From his Raudram, so came Rudra. And he became 11. Ekadasi Rudras. And again, it's interesting is, Brahma said, hey Rudra, you start creation. Right? He gave permission to Rudra to create. And then Rudra started creating unbelievable persons. Yeah, not 1, 2, 3, 4. In thousands and thousands and thousands he started creating. All they became Bhutaganas. Pramataganas we call them. They started, eating even the Brahma himself. And the Brahma said, hey Rudra, stop creating. And that's it. Once the Brahma instructed, he started creation. And when he said stop, he simply stopped. He became a viragi. And then he sat in the tapas. Rudra was really great in that sense. So after that, Brahma thought, okay, probably I would have done a better job than he is. And then he left his body. He left his body. And that body became 2 parts. And one part became Swayambhu Manu. And the other part became Setarupa. One body became 2 parts, one male and one female. And now they both married. Then the real creation started. As we are seeing today, the male and female creation that started from this guy. Because his name is Manu, who came out of him became Manavas. So, yes, Diti, Aditi were their children. And now these were given to some other Prajapatis. Only 2 are seen here. But like that, there are so many others came and given to so many other Prajapatis also. In turn, those Prajapatis created children. So Prajapati himself created 63 children. And all they were given to Rudras. So they married Rudra. Like that again, the marriages were done with people, and in the process of male and female, then the creation started. And now, the Aditya and Kasyapa were the great people who gave birth to Adityas. 12 Adityas, There were different names for each of the Adityas. Sahasramsu, Tapana is the one. And another one is Mitra. And next one is Varuna. And Gavasti. Surya. And Virginia. Each one is responsible for some kind of activity in the nature. Depending upon his activity, the names were given. Virginia is the one responsible for creating the clouds. Tvashta is another sun, another Aditya. And Vishnu is another Aditya. Dvadas Adityas. All these 12 were the great children. So Ekadasya was Adityas. And Vivaswan. So one of them is Vivaswan. And his son again became the Vaivasvata. This guy is the 7th one in the lineage of Manu. And they, of course, gave birth to so many people. Go ahead. The earth was built up like this with so many beings. We have shown only the human beings. But even like that, say, for Vinata and Kadruva snakes, for Vinata, the birds like the Garuda, Aruna, for others, so many other species. They have given birth to all of them. So the earth started with water, first put up with all the trees and plants and stuff for the living creatures to eat. Then the creation started with a variety of species on the earth. And the earth was totally filled up with all these living beings and non-living entities. So, our ancestors are not monkeys. People are living on this earth since millions of years. This is what the Vishnu Puranam says. Can we really believe in this? That's up to you. It's not up to you. That is also proved. That's also proved. I told you about the Pruthu's king story, right? Pruthu. And then the Pruthu was the one who divided the earth into different continents. And not actually Pruthu, but the Nagi was the king actually who divided it. Later, the children of Sagara, 60,000 children of Sagara, then who divided the earth, was in search of their hearts. That's what the story says. But what is their hearts? Why they searched? And how did they search? And then how they divided the whole thing? That is the theory of the plates. How the drifting of the plates took place and different continents were formed at different locations. But if you look at them and they remove the spaces between the continents, you see the land as a square piece. Do you want to see that also? Can you continue? Vishnumurti Vishnu support is Indru. Indru is named as Vishnu. Sun is also named as Vishnu. Anything that supports is called as Vishnu. This is how actually it was. Surrounded by the whole water. Actually, basing on this only people say Chatusagara Paryantam Gobrahmane Visumam. So the Sagaram is Chatusagara. It's spreading in all the four places. But as the time passed by, I think if you go to the Smithsonian National Geographic Museum, you can see the plants like this. You can see them, but they don't know where they came from. What is the source of that? Because they collected those things from different parts and they preserved them. So few things they know, many things they do not know. But the source is actually they brought from our country. So we have these things. 2000 billion years ago, it was like this. And then it started drifting. And yes, until 500 million years ago, it is like this. Is this the Earth now? The world map? This is America. Isn't it? This is India. This is Australia. And this is Africa. And this is China, Russia, and all the places. This is Europe. So this is how it was divided. And the Pruthus children, not Pruthus, Sagara's children, started from here and they traveled across northeast like this. And they came from here to this place. They found Kapila here. What is this place? California. The California is Kapilaranya. Yeah, where do you love? It is Kapila became Kalapi. Because in Sanskrit, some letters are reversed in some places. As if you say Brahma, but the pronunciation becomes Brahma. When you write a Jahnavi, but in the pronunciation it becomes Janhavi. There the Ma comes first, here the Na comes first. Similarly here, the Kapila, that becomes Kalipa. The vowels won't change, only the consonants will change their places. Like one animal that kills all other animals became Simha. It is Himsa, it does Himsa, so the name became Simha. That is the language. Like that, Kapila, Kalipa. And there is Aranya. So Kalipa, Aranya, California. California. Why I say, when it is fallen in the mouth of the English people, it took many changes. Like Raja Mahendri became Rajamundri. The Bombay, the Mumbai taken place as Bombay. So many places names were changed like that. Here also it changed like that. So that they came from here to northeastern side, they proceeded, and that they reached here. They found it, the hearts here, and that became the California. And in the process, of course, they tell the whole act as the scripture says. You need not take it literally, digging with the crowbar and basics. They divided, they drifted. What is the process? What are the instruments? we really don't know. But they did so. Well, how do you say? We say because after division they said the earth looked like a rabbit is trying to catch a bush in front of it. Is there a rabbit in this? That is what it is. Just go ahead. You have to make it upside down. And now you have to see the rabbit here. See, this is the rabbit, America, and this is the bush. It is trying to eat everything, but it cannot eat. This has been described in our scriptures.
In each anda the same process, Swami, or any other process?
In each anda process will be more or less same. As you see, a fruit on a tree, every fruit will be like that. Right? The structure of every fruit is the same. Though the fruits are different on a tree. Same with the planets also, around us. Structure is the same, but the inner creatures may be different. Yeah. Because this has been described exactly as it is seen. You can imagine, if one has to have this kind of vision, where he has to go? Definitely he should go to the space through a satellite eye only one can see. And unless those people in those days, definitely they wrote a few thousands of years ago, I minimum 6,000 years. So in those days they have that vision. The satellite eye they have with them. You found satellites today with a lot of uranium and thorium stuff you use and spoil that environment, and then you made the rockets. But without that, they must have made some kind of rockets. They formed these things, and that's how they said. In Apollo 8, according to, not science, according to your books, current cameras. But in our scriptures, we already told they are andas. We never said they are flat. But your books say, people in olden days used to say that the earth is flat, but it is only who is that guy? Vasco da Gama. Copernicus, sir. That is what they say in your books, and you read it with all sincerity and believe that your ancestors said so. Our ancestors never said that. It's only the Old Testament of the Bible said so. If you read the Old Testament, they mentioned that earth is flat. We did not. We know that earth is a globe. And we know all other planets also as the andas, and how they rotate, and the calculation, and the time, the lunar or solar eclipses, and everything was well described by the scriptures long ago. So That is what our rishis are. So anyway, this is what our Purana, the Vishnu Purana, talks about in brief. You understand? So in 6 amsas, she described everything about the phenomenon of the universe. Vishnu Purana thus became a great Purana of all. Taking this as the base, then Vedavyasa elaborated it